After taxes and all that, I was taking home $800, so it wasn't too much money.
Well, I used to be a dental hygienist up in Canada, and I hated that job. You know, I cleaning other people's dirty teeth all day.
I was really miserable. I was working anywhere from 70 to 75 hours a week, 6 to 7 days a week. I mean, practically every weekend. I don't really remember one weekend that I didn't work.
I couldn't just quit what I was doing and stay home with my son as I wanted to.
Literally, someone else was raising our child. And, and it wasn't with our principles and our morals, and, that's no way to raise children.
I had a coworker that was just awful, and I was just dreading going to work every day.
The place I was living in, I'm telling you, it was a shoebox.
I was managing a store. I had a lot of nice suits in the closet, no money in the bank. And as I look 5 years down the road, everything looked pretty much the same.
We got to a point where I just said, there's got to be a better way.
My dad was actually a house painter, still is, and he's been doing it for 30 years. And I saw the road that he had been down, and I knew that I didn't want to be there, and I knew I didn't want to be doing that manual labor. I wanted to have something where I could use my mind and be excited about it.
When we retired, our combined retirement, Social Security income was about $28,000 a year. That just gets you by.
I was waiting tables at Red Lobster. I had just failed out of college, and I was so broke, I was literally riding a bicycle to and from my job.
And I really got depressed when I would walk into a business, because I did business to business. I was in outside sales. And they'd say, "Frank, the beeper guy's here." So when they started calling me the beeper guy, I realized I was in the wrong career. I don't want to be that anymore. But you'd have to get all excited about it, and I wasn't excited about it.
I was a wholesale furniture agent, which was great money, but like I said, if I stopped selling, there was no income coming in. So essentially I was chained to the business.
I had gone to law school, but for years I'd been a musician, and I thought, you can always be a lawyer. I want to be a rock and roll star. But the music business is nuts. It goes up and down. If I couldn't find a new tour, I'd be bartending and waiting tables and hoping that nobody would recognize me.
Corporate America consisted of 60 to 70-hour work weeks, training executive management to do a job that I was doing, getting underpaid. And as the company grew, I became more valuable, so it was a double-edged sword. The better I was at what I did, the more responsibility that was thrown on me, and there's only one me, and I was doing the job of 3 or 4 people. And it wasn't recognized. It was taken for granted. And that took a toll on my life. I didn't have a life.
We had a great team going. I was building homes and she was selling homes. The problem was I was building them during the day, and there was many, many times that she was out trying to sell, close a deal at night, so our paths very seldom crossed.
I'd always planned on being successful and having to be able to retire. I always thought about that, but it didn't happen that way.
I never have known anything else. I've never known any other type of options other than going to work and getting a paycheck in my other jobs. And when I came in here, I was blown away.
Cowabunga.
Big houses, great cars, for me it's shoes.
If I wanted my boys to look very nice, I don't have to check the tag of the price. Get my clothes, put in the cart.
We're changing lives. We're making a difference in the world. We're making a difference in the world. We're doing good in the marketplace, and that's everything.
A lot of ways to make money, but there's not many ways you can really be proud about the way that you make money and affect so many people in such a positive way.
When I got started, I was definitely looking to make money. There's no question. I was not looking to change the world. I was looking to change my bank account.
I remember my very first month I made $1,000, and that was a lot of money.
About a year and a half into the business, still part-time, I was making $2,500 a month.
First month I made $300. I was very excited. Then $800 the second month. then $2,700 the third month, and then I decided to quit my job.
A year exactly after I started the business, my checks that month were $5,468.28. 2 months later, my check went up to $7,080, and that was the month I went on vacation and came back and got that $7,000 check. So it's been amazing.
And when I got to 10,000, I thought, well, that wasn't so hard after all. Maybe I can get to 15, and I went from 15 to 20, and then to 30, and then even up to $40,000 a month. So it's just been amazing.
A little over $25,000 a month. So I'm pretty excited.
The first 9 months of really getting going, I had made $250,000.
Everything already is really in place.
We teach people exactly what to do step by step.
So it's not like traditional business where you're going to have to come up with the marketing plan, you're going to have to come up with the product plan, you're going to have to figure out the manufacturing. None of that.
It's literally, here's step number 1, here's step number 2, here's step number 3.
So all you have to do is plug into the very extensive training program, start taking the first steps, which once you take the first step, that makes the next step easier.
This is the perfect time and the right places and the right company.
There's still people that say, you know, that's just too good to be true.
I was 22 years old, and I was working for a company like a lot of people in America. What I realized is that the company grew and the wealth of the owners grew. And I thought, gosh, I'm working here like a slave, and I'm building someone else's family's future. I didn't have a clue, but I just thought there must be a better way where I can work and build a future for myself and my family. Could there be an opportunity or a chance for someone like me to have a better life, to have the American dream? There was people in the company who wanted to mentor us. There was a support system and infrastructure. There was a business model that all we needed to do is execute. And then before you know it, in 4 months, working the same hours, 2 to 3 hours a week, the income hit $1,500 a month. Obviously, we're thinking this thing is working. And in 90 days, our income hit $10,000 a month. And our very first calendar year, our income hit $350,000. In our second year, I turned 30, Emiko turned 25, and our income hit $1.1 million.
Well, we just want to say that welcome to our home.
The house was custom built by one of the most incredible international designers. You know, it's got that Mediterranean kind of traditional contemporary look.
And this is our living area. You know, my parents live very close to here, and my brother, and you know, being one of 6 children, we needed a lot of space. We have 18 grandkids, my parents, so we wanted something that we can really enjoy, that when my family comes over, it's still really comfortable.
To the media room, you know, we have a media room with a high definition TV and suede sofas that you can just lounge and just be comfortable, kick your shoes off, and just enjoy the fruits of your labor.
This is our home office. What's wonderful about this office and kind of cool, it looks all clean. You think, this guy's running a multi-million-dollar business out of here. You think, how does he do that? Well, really simple. You open this up. Now it's messy because this is where the real work, because we do work, believe it or not. This is where we work, and you can see the computers on there. And we have a computer and then a fax, a copier, and this is where we run our multi-million-dollar business from this simple space. Pretty amazing from working from home. Well, that's our home, and we just want to say thank you very much for allowing us to open our home to all of you and share with you. And just imagine it started with a little dream to want to have a better life, and with everything that's happening today and all the technology and the leadership, there's never been a better time. And all of you, if you just dream, you also too can have everything we have and much more.
There I was, stranded in Los Angeles, broke and desperate. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a green card even. And And I didn't know what I was going to do. I figured out I needed to make $2,000 in 2 weeks or I was going to lose everything. I had leased a condo on the beach and furniture and a car, and I was really scared. I didn't know what I was going to do. And when I went to this meeting, even though it wasn't, you know, quite what I had in mind, I didn't have a lot of choices. And I just sat down, tried to keep an open mind, and turned out to be a little bit different than I thought. And I thought, well, I'll just do this until I make enough money to pay off my bills, and then I'll probably end up going back to Canada and being a dental hygienist. You can be broke. I had to go out of my comfort zone. It worked for me. Within 2 weeks, I had made almost exactly $2,000. That's when I realized how incredible this business really is. I ended up earning probably about, I'm guessing $35,000 that first year. I really decided to kick it off. I made a decision that this is what I was going to do. This is going to be my career. This is how I'm going to build my wealth. And once I did that, it's amazing. Mentally, I was committed, and that next year I made $400,000. Looking back on it now, I never had a dream that I would have a lifestyle like this. Now I make millions. Don and I had a date set up, and I had a successful business before I met him.
We're going to meet at this hotel for dinner.
And I had a business opportunity meeting at that hotel that night, so I just thought I would go meet him after the meeting. Well, what happened was he got there early.
I thought I'd just slip in and see what it was all about.
And walked in just as I was giving my income testimonial, and I just froze up there.
I couldn't believe she's up on stage telling people how much she makes, which just blew me away.
And so I knew that he knew, and oh man.
So of course I slip out, thinking I've heard something I'm not supposed to hear.
We went out for dinner, and I thought I detected a little bit more interest in him.
I was like, wow, that's a pretty good income she's generating.
You know, he said, well, how much money did you have to invest to get that kind of return?
And she said, oh, it's very simple, it's 50. And so I went, $50,000, that's pretty good.
A return like that for only a $50,000 investment? And I said, no, $50.
And here I am, I just about fell off my chair.
I think that was the night he proposed.
Of course, that's when I exactly asked her to marry me. At least that's what she says.
Years from now, there are people that haven't even signed up yet that will be making a huge amount more money than we ever made in this company. I really do believe that.
Well, welcome everyone, and congratulations for taking that bold step and really making a decision to change the quality of life for you and the ones that you love. You know, I'm not sure how you got this video today. You could have saw a classified advertisement, you could have got a book in the mail, you could have been surfing the internet, but what I want to say to you is that I'm really honored and privileged to be here with you today. And as well, I want you to understand, I'm not an actor. You know, we haven't made this video super slick to impress you, because we want you to know it doesn't take all that type of stuff to be successful in our business. What I want you to know is we're here today for the simple reason that we found something that allowed us to change the quality of our life. And it's with this great pleasure that we want to share it with other people like you. You know, I'm speaking to you here from my home where we do our home-based business. And as magnificent as this multi-million-dollar house is, you know, and the extraordinary quality of life that we have, I want you to know this is certainly not how we got started, and this is certainly not the lifestyle that we had in the beginning. So what I'd like to share with you today, and what I want to tell you today, is what this video will mean to you, okay? And first of all, this video is going to give you a broad vision of our home-based business and the tremendous opportunity that lies in front of you so that you can make a decision and you can take a more in-depth look at why now and why you. You know, we have people all over America and literally around the world who we work with and who we have taught and mentored. You know, just like we were taught and mentored just a few short years ago to duplicate this successful business model.
You know, like many industries, technology has revolutionized our business, as well as, you know, you can work and be mentored from the comfort of your own home. Even more incredible, because the system is so automated, you can even work this business from laying poolside, just like me, or even from some tropical beach, you know, or anywhere around the world. You know, what I want to do is just kind of backtrack here for a moment and tell you really why we got involved in this business. You know, I was 22 years old and I was working as an employee, probably like a lot of you out there today. And I went to work diligently every day, thinking about my future and thinking about financially, you know, having some freedom. And what happened was really simple. Is I went to work every day and I started to notice that the people who owned the company, and I started to notice that the company was making all the money. And one day I thought, you know what? There must be a better way that I can work, because I'm sitting here every day building someone else's family's future. And I thought to myself, there must be something else that I can do. So I started looking around at other opportunities, just like all of you. And I started to look around and do some due diligence. And you know what I found out? I found this couple who were doing this work from home business. And you know what happened? They were working from their apartment and they were working right around their daughter. And it was incredible because they were making about $4,000 a month. And they were so excited about this business, and they were thinking, you know, hey, you know, this is an incredible opportunity for you, Dorn. We're in 8 countries today, and we're going to take it around the world. Now, you could imagine at 22, I couldn't think around the world. I was thinking, God, if I can take this thing around the block, that would be incredible. And so they began to teach me the business, and they said, you know, this is an opportunity to have the American dream. And I got excited. And so I got involved with the business. I went out to the marketplace with vigor and excitement and enthusiasm. And man, it was like hitting the wall, because everywhere I went, people were negative. Everywhere I went, people said, you know, that's a pyramid scheme. It's one of those things you drag your friends and your family, and it's something that you do and everybody goes broke. And I thought to myself, God, Dorn, what did you do? And here's what I want to let you know what happened. Is I made one of the biggest mistakes in my life, is that I listened to all the negative people around me. Today I know they're called the dream stealers, but then I thought they were just my family and friends. And what happened is that I unplugged from the mentoring system. And as a result, guess what happened? I started to fail. And finally, after hitting the bottom, and I couldn't pay my rent, my car got repossessed, I thought, you know what? This thing doesn't work just like everybody said, and guess what happened? I quit. And I gave up on my dreams, and I gave up on my desires. And you know what happened? I had to go back to my comfort zone. I had to get back on the treadmill of life just to make a living. And you know, I don't know if you're sitting here today and you've ever just made a living, but it was miserable. Going to work, you know, having a boss, punching a clock, someone telling you, you know, what to do, when to go on vacation, when to take a break. And I hated it. But for 5 years, that was my environment. And one day, my older sister came to me and she said, you know what? I want to lose some weight. And I want to lose 30 pounds. And I thought, you know, why are you asking me? Because I was slender, I'd never lost weight before. And she said, well, I want to get that company's products that you were involved with before. And I thought, God, I haven't seen those people for 5 years. They're probably out of business just like everybody else. But I'm very, very close to my siblings, and it was my big sister, and I really wanted to help her, and I thought somehow, some way I got to find these products. So again, guess what I did? I started looking around for the product, and I started looking around for those people. In 5 years later, guess what happened? I met that same couple. I called them up after looking up their name and their phone number in the yellow pages. In 5 years later, I got a hold of them. They gave me their address, and you're not going to believe what happened. I got in my car, and as I got closer and closer to the houses, guess what happened? They got bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally, I stopped in front of this magnificent residence. Sitting in front of the driveway was a brand new Rolls Royce, and I was shocked. And I came through the door, and there they were, the same nice, warm, welcome, you know, wonderful people doing the same business that they had taught me just 5 years ago. But guess what the difference was? Today, they were making over $100,000 a month. Yes, a month. And I got to tell you, when I saw that, I thought, my God, I can't even comprehend $100,000 a year, let alone a month. And what happened is I got the product, they started to tell me about the business. And right away I thought, gosh, I looked around at the house, I looked around at them, I thought, impossible for someone like me to do what they did. And they, on top of that, they had a master's degree. I came from a family of 6 children. We were all born in a 1-bedroom apartment. And I was one of the lucky 4 who even graduated from high school. So I'm thinking master's degree, high school education, impossible for someone like me. And you know what they said? They said a few things. And they said some things like change your life. And they talked about the system. And they talked about the mentoring. And they talked about a way within 3 to 4 years to have a business that would generate an income that would pay us the rest of our life. And we got so excited. But then all of a sudden, in our excitement, I got that gut-wrenching feeling. And you know what that was? That was it sounded way too good to be true. And I don't know if you've ever heard something that sounded way too good to be true, but God, the first thing we thought of was, you know what? This is definitely not for us. And we went home, and for 2 weeks we couldn't sleep. And for 2 weeks I stepped reevaluating what we have done for 15 years, and I looked at what we had accumulated and what we had in our savings, and I was disgusted. And you know what I did? I was totally scared, but we went back to those people and we said, listen, we don't know what you do, we don't understand how you do it, but not only do we want, we really, really need a chance to have a better life. And what happened is that they started to tell us about the product. And what they told us about this product was that they have a product that 90% of the population could use. So as you can imagine, today there's about 280 million people in America. So just to give you an idea, that means that's about 230 million people who can use this product. And it's a consumable product, meaning that when they consume it, they're going to need more. And as a result, guess what? The work that we do, 3 and 4 months ago, a year ago, you continue to get paid. This is not like jewelry or knives or Tupperware. How many vacuums are you going to buy a month? How many are you going to purchase? So what I want you to understand is I want you to think about this. Think about what you hear in the media, between TV, radio, magazines. What are the buzzwords that you're hearing all across America? If you think about it, you're hearing health, anti-aging, youth, wellness, nutrition, fatigue. How about weight loss? Herbal this, herbal that. Everywhere you go, people want to lose weight. So this is a product that not only people want, but more importantly, they truly need. And what are the other things that you hear? If you go over to your friend's house and you're sitting at a ball game or you're sitting around the table with your family, what do people talk about? They talk about not having enough money, not having the money for vacations, not having enough money to pay for the house that they want to live in, for the cars that they want to drive. They don't have control of their future. They don't even have savings. Think about this. What are people really looking for today? What is it that they really want? What is it that you want? What I found out and what they told me is that people are looking for financial freedom. They want to be their own boss. They want to have a lifestyle. They want to have a better quality of life. They want to have financial freedom. And how does this tie into the front, or more importantly, why does this tie into the first part of what we talked about? Is that because it's so many people are looking for the fountain of youth. Because of that tremendous demand, if you were able to deliver, think about this, if you were able to deliver, that to the marketplace, the financial rewards of being in front of what we call a megatrend are huge. When we began to understand this, even though it's just a little bit, we got very, very excited. And from there, we sat down with our mentors. We asked them what to do. Since we had no idea, how to tap into this marketplace, it was then that our mentors sat down with us and explained the value of advertising and how through different advertising campaigns, whether it be something simple as a classified ad, or today, because of other people's brilliance, we have direct mail combined with the mail order industry. And for those who use computers, we also wrap it around the technology of the internet. And it gives us the ability to touch millions of people around the world every single day to tap into this megatrend, which we call the wellness industry. They taught us, what to do. They taught us why to do it, where to do it. They even taught us when to do it. It was all there, step by step. And then we started to realize we had people who were multimillionaires who had already blazed the trail of success so that we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We didn't have to figure it out. All we needed to do was to be teachable and willing to learn and willing to work. And oh yeah, by the way, the other and one of the most important things that we needed to bring to the table was a burning desire to want to have a better quality of life for us and the ones that we loved. So this was really important. So what happened is that, for you guys, we're just like you. That's the reason why you're watching this videotape. I'm sure you've got that same burning desire as we did. So what we did is we started to implement, on a very part-time basis, right around the kitchen table, what our mentors taught us. And what was incredible is that we made an extra $300 working 2 to 3 hours a week, right from our kitchen table. And you know what happened? Then people wanted the product. And even though we didn't understand the product, our income the next month hit $600. And the next month it went to $900. And still what happened was 4 months later, our income hit over $1,500 a month just doing what our mentors taught us to do. And it was incredible. And what I want to do here is I want to show you, it was incredible. This was us just a few short years ago. Our income hit $1,500. Now I know to a lot of you, you might be thinking, you know what, that's not a whole lot of money. But I got to tell you, at that stage in our life, that was a lifestyle change. That meant we could live someplace better, drive a better car, help people that we wanted to help in the past. It was unbelievable. And it was then that we realized also, because we started to duplicate, that's why our income started to grow. The simple concept was that they taught us was either we can have 100% of our own efforts, or we can have 1% of 100 people's efforts. And I thought to myself, that makes sense. But then there was a big dilemma. Where do you get the 100 people? Wasn't that the obvious question? So they explained through the advertising campaign. Today, we also use direct mail, mail order, and through our automated system and the internet, basically they gave us the plan exactly step by step what to do. And I thought, wait a minute. I thought, I don't want to be a salesman. I don't want to, pick up the phone and do cold calls. I don't want to beat up my family and friends. I don't want to knock on doors. And it started to look like that. And they said, no, that's not what this business is. That's what the automated system is designed to do. So you probably, you probably thought that as well, actually. But let me ask you a very important question. Can you place an ad? Can you put a classified newspaper ad in your local newspaper? I'm sure you can. Can you send a little book in the mail that's already been printed? Can you write someone's name and address on a label and put it on a package and send it out to someone just like the one that you got? Can you respond to someone's email, and in turn give them information and send them information that all you got to do is point them to a website? Are you starting to understand the simplicity of this business? Now, of course, when we got started, we didn't have all of this. So it's so much easier for you to do today. What we knew, though, was when we started implementing the marketing strategies, that's when our income totally exploded. And we started to plug into the company's trainings. And what was really, really amazing is we had the opportunity to participate in a training with all the top millionaires. They taught us, again, all the A through Z's. And one of the things that we learned is that if you do more, you get more in the form of thank you checks. Meaning, instead of getting paid once a month on the business, the company would pay us additional checks for the same business. It was unbelievable. What we decided to do after hearing all that, we decided, okay, we're going to shift into high gear. We decided to get serious and do what we did on a part-time basis. We did it for more hours. And you're not going to believe what happened. As a result of getting serious, I can't tell you what a difference it made in our business. And after 90 days, our income hit over $10,000 a month. Let me show you. It was amazing. $10,000 a month. Can you imagine? I was 28. My wife, Emika, was 23. It was like hitting the lotto. My only regret was that, we didn't make a decision to get serious 4 months later. I mean, it was incredible. And right after that, things really started to explode. It was unbelievable because I remember in the beginning, as you remember, as I told you, they were talking, 3 to 4 years to have financial freedom. And, I started to think about my father, and he worked for corporate America. He worked for Chrysler, a major corporation, for 21 years. And I remember in the early 90s, he got the phone call. He got the infamous phone call that the company was downsizing. Today they don't call it downsizing, they call it right-sizing. But 2 weeks later, he was out of a job. And I remember my father-in-law, 37 years for the same bank. It was unbelievable. So I couldn't imagine 3 to 4 years, but it started to happen so fast. And after that, our income started doubling and tripling. In 7 months after, let me tell you what happened. 7 months later, we got the basic check, and you can see here it's for $8,141. And because we did more and we got more that same month, which was January, remember we talked about the thank you checks? Well, you're not going to believe it. In that same January, not only do we get that $8,000 check, but we also got another $11,549. I mean, it was unbelievable. Who gives you a thank you check like that? I mean, it was amazing what started to happen. And what I want you to know is this. When we got started, we didn't have a lot of money. What we did is we started on a very, very limited budget. We couldn't do some of the things that people who had more money did. So what we did is we took our limited budget, we started the marketing campaigns that fit our budget based on what our mentor said. And then as we started to send all the packages and everything out and we started to get money from the marketing, what happened is we started to reinvest in our business. And what's happened since then is just absolutely unbelievable. So let me give you an example of what happened and what's happening actually today. To give you an understanding, this was our income in February. Now remember, this is just in February in 1 month. Remember when I start talking about all the thank you checks? Well, this is February, and it's for $161,000, $161,877. And then on top of that, another thank you check, $185,297. And listen, still in February, $395,288.72. I mean, it's unbelievable what's starting to happen to us. And so one of the exciting things, I mean, it's true, we pinch ourselves every day. And what I want you to know is one of the exciting things was that when we got started, it was really simple. So what I want you to understand is that it's not because of us, it's because of these incredible tools. It's because of the product, it's because of the automation of the system and the incredible mentors that we have that allows us to have this extraordinary quality of life. And truly, honestly, we've had some unbelievable mentors who really believed in us far more than we believed in ourselves. When we fell down, they picked us up and brushed us off and put us on that path to success again. And it was because of those great men and women who went before us that we are here today in front of this video sharing this incredible opportunity for you. What I want you to know is that you don't have to want to make millions. If you're thinking like I was, got an extra $500 to $1,500 a month would be incredible, that's okay. And so if you're also looking at this video and you're thinking, gosh, $500, $1,500 is really not what I'm looking for $3,000 to $10,000 or more, that's okay too. So I want you to know, whether you're looking for something small, medium, or large, we have a place for you. What you should know is that regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your background, we can take you from wherever you are to where you want to go in your future. Now, I'm sure you're wondering today, why haven't we given you all the details? Why doesn't this video or we give you all the information? And if you're thinking about that, you're absolutely right. Because I want to be honest with you. The reason why is because we've had people who have spent countless of hours, millions of dollars of time and resources to create this incredible automated system. And quite frankly, we're not willing to give it up unless you are willing to make a decision. I want to tell you that, my wife and I, we're not here today to sell you. We're not here to convince you. what I want you to know is that although we feel that this is the most incredible opportunity to become financially free and wealthy out in the marketplace, I also know this business is not for everybody. If you're sitting in front of this video today and you're thinking, you know what, I already have everything I want, or I'm not really looking to live in a better home or to have a better quality of life or to be debt-free. You've got credit cards and you grew up having debt like my parents, and you've accepted that, and that's a fine way to live, or you're not interested in purchasing a home or having vacations or even having financially freedom. You're just thinking about the week. Whatever the case may be, then for those types of people, we tell them this is not a business for you. But on the contrary, if you're a person and you're looking at this opportunity thinking, you know what? The time is now where you're serious about changing the quality of life for you and the ones that you love. There's never, ever been a more exciting time than now. And what I want to share with you is that, I know it was difficult for me to make a decision, but one of the things that our mentors taught us was that indecision is the thief of opportunity. And think about this. Let's say you don't make a decision today. And think about a year, 2 or 3 years later, you're living in the same place, driving the same car, working the same job under the same circumstances. How would you feel, and what would it cost you because you didn't make a decision? On the other hand, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about you making a decision, and a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years, you're living an extraordinary quality of life. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the people that we have helped and mentored like we were helped all across America. And as a matter of fact, instead of me explaining all that, let me show you and introduce you to some of my friends.
Hi, my name is Bob Sott from Cleveland, Ohio. And before I started with this opportunity here, I was actually laid off from a company. And because of that, being laid off, I started accumulating a lot of debt on my credit cards. On top of that, we ended up getting with my family, we were on Section 8 with housing, food stamps. It was one of the worst periods of my life. And then on top of that, ended up finding a job for a company working in the stainless steel industry. And on top of that, I found out with this company, it was a very negative work environment. It's like one day you're the hero and next day they're putting you down behind your back. And I'll tell you, with all the stress from my job and the debt that I accumulated, and then I had to find a second job to pay off my debt working at nights, never able to see my children at all. I ended up developing a lot of health issues, a lot of stress, and it just created a lot of pain in my life. But it was amazing what happened at that time. I ended up getting a booklet in the mail that said, work at home with mail order. And when I got this booklet, I was looking at all the stories, how average people were becoming successful, just everyday people. And I was thinking, that could be me. And on top of that, I saw how there's a mentoring system where there's somebody there to really teach me, work with me, spend a lot of time, and just teach me how to be successful with the business. And I thought, wow, this really could be for me. And right away, I ended up getting started with this opportunity because I ended up trying a lot of different things before that just didn't work out. And when I saw this opportunity, I got started. And right away, just by listening to my mentor, immediately, my very first month in the business, I made $1,200. And I did it all part-time around my job. By my second month, I was making $2,500. By my sixth month, my income grew to over $10,000. I was able to fire my boss, which was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life, on top of my children being born. And on top of that, my income grew to over $18,000 a month. And let me tell you, I've only been doing this just over a year and a half. And this has been just an incredible opportunity, and this works for everybody just by working it. 'Cause let me tell you, the pain of being broke was so great for me that when I saw this opportunity, I just asked my mentor, what do I need to do? He walked me through exactly all the steps. I came in as a supervisor right away, immediately got into action. It's just incredible. Now I have the dream I've always wanted. I'm home with my children every day. I'm able to see them at their sporting events, take them to school. It's incredible. And I just thank God every day that I have this booklet that showed up to me one day.
Hi, I'm Roseanne Gillespie, and I'm from Wayne, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Philadelphia. And I found this incredible business about 3.5 years ago. At that point in my life, I had just been through a situation where I wanted to be self-employed, and I had purchased a franchise because for me, although I wanted to be self-employed, I didn't want to do it myself. So the franchise seemed like the perfect answer. Unfortunately, after about 1.5 years, the franchise went out of business. So obviously, my business was down. I lost a really significant amount of money. So I was pretty skeptical when I got a booklet in the mail. And after looking it over, I decided to order this first package and went through the whole system. And basically, what convinced me to do the system was the mentoring. It was just too good to be true. I wasn't 100% certain that it was real, but I decided to give it a try. And it was real. It's just been incredible. In 3.5 years, I have made it much further than I ever dreamed possible. First off, the products have been incredible. I've been taking the products since I came into the business. When I started in this business, I was taking 6 different prescriptions for asthma, allergies, acid reflux. I take nothing any longer. So that was incredible. Business-wise, my monthly income now is up to $10,000, and it's growing every month. So it's just been an incredible journey for me. By the end of this year, I will be making at least 50% more than I am right now, and there's no end to what you can do in this business. I would just urge you to take action. If you want to make a change in your life, you need to do it today. If you don't, you'll be right where you are 5 years from now. And I can't urge you enough to take advantage of this opportunity.
Welcome back. And as you can see, anybody can do this business. This is my wife, Emiko.
Hi.
And actually, we do the business together right around our children. And it's been unbelievable. All most people got started with in this business is a burning desire and a passion to want to have a better life. So let me tell you what your next step is. And that is to call the person who got you this video, or the person we call your mentor, and tell them to send you your free second package. Now let me tell you what's in that package. In it is all the details about our business, how and what we do, what makes our business and our system so automated. It's also going to explain to you, what we do and how we got started in our step-by-step training. So think about this. Instead of spending, the amount of money that you would on a movie and a dinner with you and your friend, you can get started in this business. You can make a decision today that will totally change your life for you and the ones that you love forever. So in closing, what I'd like to say to you is think about this. A year from now, and dream a little bit, 2 or 3 years from now, you wake up and you're totally financially free. You never have to work another day in your life. And what I want to tell you is that whatever you can imagine, it's going to be true. So thank you very much for giving us your precious time. Emiko and I wish you and your family much success. Chase your dreams with passion, and we'll see you somewhere around the world.
Bye-bye.
I don't know why you're watching this program today. Sometimes the worst place to be is on the fence, undecided what to do. Sometimes you just have to pick up the phone, stop procrastinating. Think about this. Is the government going to take care of you? Is corporate America going to take care of you? What about the economy? Sometimes when we're relying on all these other sources, it doesn't happen. Sometimes a reality check. We have to look in our bank account. We have to look at what we've earned so far in our lives for working so hard. And possibly it hasn't happened for you yet. We are absolutely confident that if you call us, we can help you.